Hey everybody, I'm Aaron Rian with the Brokerage House, and I help thousands of agents make millions of dollars in the real estate industry. And today, I'm here to talk to you about something that's near and dear to my heart. This is actually how I started in real estate, and that is as a house flipper. So, how can you get into the house flipping business with zero to no money to be able to enter this industry and make huge profits? I've been tremendously successful in the home flipping business to the tune of making over $1 million in house flipping as a hobby that I did while I ran my real estate brokerage and sold and helped people buy homes in the marketplace. So that means on the evenings, in the weekends, in between appointments, I was constantly checking on my flip properties, making sure things were happening, making sure we were meeting deadlines. It was a lot of work, but there was a lot of reward at the end of the day. So I want to share with you my blueprint for how I was successful to be able to build a side business that generated me millions of dollars in revenue per year. So I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to talk to you about some of the do's and don'ts. I'm going to talk to you about some of the pitfalls, and I'm going to talk to you about some of the ways that you can get started with little to no money if you want to become a house flipper. So the first thing that I would tell you if you're thinking about getting into the house flipping business, and by far the number one most important thing is you've got to have a source of good deals coming in the door. Because if you don't have a source of good properties that you can buy under market value, you'll never be successful as a house flipper. So where are some of those sources? Well, realtors are a great source of great deals, right? They sometimes know properties before they get ready to come to market, and they can get you in front of those home sellers to be able to make an offer before everybody becomes aware of that deal. So realtors by far are one of the best avenues to be able to find amazing deals when it comes to house flipping. The second thing that I would tell you if you're looking for a really good source for deals when it comes to house flipping is real estate wholesalers. People who have a property under contract, but they have no intention on closing that deal. So they've gone and made a deal with the seller, and now they want to pass it off to an end investor and make a small margin on that house. I knew tens of probably 10, 20 different property wholesalers that would call me and feed me deals on a monthly basis. And I would do my evaluation. Some of them, they were right. They were great deals. Some of them, I thought they were crazy. They weren't great deals, and I would pass on those. But they probably were responsible for 25, 30% of the deals that I did every year. So property wholesalers and realtors, great sources for being able to find good quality real estate at a discount. You know, you gotta be able to also evaluate that deal. You gotta have a pretty good working knowledge of what that property is going to be worth in its current condition, and then what it's going to be worth after repairs. So you have to have a good general understanding of the value of real estate in that area. You can find that through the MLS. You can look on, real estate websites like Zillow or Realtor.com and get an idea as far as what properties in maybe the same or better condition have sold for in that area. The next thing I would tell you is you need to know your repair costs. So when you walk through one of these properties after it's been brought to you by a realtor or a wholesaler, you need to be able to walk that property and get an idea as far as repair costs. Because I had done that so many times, generally I would have a pretty good idea of what repair costs would be. But if you're just getting started, my recommendation to you is team up with a contractor that is reliable and that you can trust, and have him walk the property or her walk the property and give you an idea as far as what they think needs to be done. Show them what your vision is for the property, what you're trying to do to the property, and then let them give you a bid. Because then you can take the acquisition cost of the property plus the repair cost, know what you're going to be into the property for, and then know what your after repair value is going to be. And that is the next thing, is you need to be able to know what your ARV on that property is going to be. ARV stands for after repair value. That means what could you put that property on the market for to be able to sell it to a buyer. All right, that's your margin. Your margin is the difference between what you buy the property for, what maybe your holding costs are, including insurance, taxes, and interest if you took out a loan, whatever repairs costs, and then your market value. And then that's going to be what your margin is as far as profit. So that's the first thing that I would tell you if you're looking at becoming a house flipper. The next thing I would tell you, and this is the biggest pitfall for house flippers, and that is having reliable contractors. You gotta have reliable contractors. They can either help your business thrive or they can kill your business in a heartbeat. You gotta find reliable contractors who are trustworthy. There are really good contractors and really good general contractors out there, electricians, plumbers, HVAC contractors. Then there's a lot of really bad ones who will look for any opportunity to steal your money. I've seen both. And it's important that you find the ones that are great. The easiest ways to find contractors who are great is ask them for references, okay? Not just one, but get 3 or 4 references from people that they've done full remodels for. See if you can go to some of their current jobs and walk the property. Make sure that the quality of their work is up to your standards. So you want to see, what are they doing? How's the fit and finish? How's the quality of what they're doing? Are they on the job site every day? Those are things that are important, right? You don't want to get in bed with a contractor who doesn't show up every day. Okay, it's a common thing in contracting, having unreliable contractors who aren't on the job site every day. You want to make sure that the contractors are doing the repairs correctly. Okay, I've had an experience where we ended up having to sue a contractor, but they completely remodeled a house and didn't pull a single permit and did a terrible job. It ended up costing me twice to do that because I ended up having to do it once, then taking everything back down and redoing it again, and it was a disaster. But you want to avoid that up front by getting references from contractors, walking their current jobs, and seeing a sample of some of their work. Also, check their CCB record, right? Check their licensing history. See if they have any complaints against their license. That will save you a lot of headaches. You can get an idea as far as the kind of person that you're going to start working with before you hand them a deposit check. And then the last thing that I would tell you is if you're getting into house flipping or you have a desire to be a real estate investor, but you don't have any capital, you don't have any money, this is probably what you've been waiting for. This bit of information right here. There is a mechanism that you can use and that will help you get started in the real estate business with no money. And you can then make some money, make some margin on those deals, save up, and then do a house flip where the really big margins happen. So it's called wholesaling. If you want to be a successful wholesaler, I'll give you a few tips. I've wholesaled several properties, and it might be because I didn't have time to be able to take on a project, or maybe I just didn't have the capital that I needed because I was involved in too many other projects, but it was still a good deal, and I didn't want to miss out on making something on it. So if you want to be a property wholesaler, what is some things that you could do? One is you want to drive for dollars. Drive neighborhoods where you're trying to find properties, and drive those neighborhoods. Find properties that might need work. Abandoned properties where the grass has grown up, maybe there's damage to the roof, damage to the siding. You can obviously see that that property's in distress. That's a good candidate. You want to then get a driving for dollars app, something like that, where you can punch in that address and pin it, then get their information. You can use public information sites. You can go to the title company. A lot of times they can find where that person lives, and then you can Google their address, get their phone number, call them, leave a note on the door, and see how you can get in contact to figure out how you can acquire that property. So when you wholesale a property, what you're doing as a wholesaler is you're driving, you're finding the deal, like we just talked about. Then what you're doing is you're actually negotiating the price of the house below market value with that seller. Then you're taking that contract and you're going to go assign it to somebody. You're going to assign it to a house flipper or an investor or an end buyer. Where you make a profit as a wholesaler is the difference what you put that property under contract for with the seller and whatever you sold that contract to the flipper, investor, or end user at the end of the day. The margin is yours. And the reason you don't need any money to do that is because you're never going to close on the property. You're going to assign it to this person, your end user, and they're going to go close on it, and they're going to kick you back the difference between what you negotiated the contract with the seller and what the actual contract was sold at. So hopefully you found this content to be good. This is something that you want us to make more of. If it is, hit the subscribe button down below. And if you have any questions about the content that we've put out today, leave us a note in the comment section. Ask your questions. We respond to everything. We appreciate you watching and have a great day.